The website is, of course, interactive 24/7. J&G Insurance, negotiating a great insurance deal. It's our business. Now, the partners for Corruption Watch are Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, Ghana Integrity Initiative, GII, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, GACC, Joy 99.7 FM, Africa Center for International Law and Accountability, ASTELA. You can follow us on Facebook, Corruption Watch Ghana, on Twitter at CW Ghana, on Instagram, Corruption Watch _GH. The website is stopcorruptionghana.org. The hotline is 055-453-6586. That's the Corruption Watch hotline. The Corruption Watch WhatsApp number is 055-453-6295. The hashtag is Wanamoni, hashtag Ghana Bre. Corruption Watch is proudly sponsored by Strengthening Action Against Corruption Stack. Today we feature one of our 6 segments, From the Source. Now, on the From the Source section, we bring you interviews live or pre-recorded of actors involved in the matter under discussion. Dr. Steve Mantiao, like I said earlier, a policy analyst with the Integrated Social Development Center, ISODEC, and chair of Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas, CSPOG, will join us, or he is with us in the studio, to discuss a report that raises critical issues about the way this country is handling its extractive sector. The title of this report is Typology and Nature of Corruption Risks in Ghana's Extractive Sector. Now, talking about that report, we will be discussing with Dr. Mantiao. I was telling you earlier that 2016 information came through that between January 2014 and January 2016, a total of 101,179 kilograms of gold, valued at $3.6 billion was shipped out of Ghana to India alone without going through the necessary processes. This certainly poses a high risk of money laundering and illicit financial outflows out of Ghana. We will hear more about this from our panelists shortly. Meanwhile, figures that Corruption Watch has computed from various sources show that $3.6 billion worth of improper gold shipment is a rather modest estimation of the potential losses to the state. Corruption Watch has worked on data for 3 major destinations of Ghana's gold exports: Switzerland, India, and the United Arab Emirates. The analysis shows that far more gold is going out of Ghana without officials having a clue. All right, there is a report that will be going through some small data analysis that we will be going through. But we'll take the Joy Business reports first, and Raymond Dakwa is here to bring us the details of what Corruption Watch has gathered. Stay with us.
Welcome, everyone.
It's the Joy Business Minute with Daryl and Karen.
The high cost of doing business at the port has been identified as an obstacle to the implementation of the Trade Facilitation Agreement, which Ghana is a signatory to. According to the International Chamber of Commerce Ghana, this is against the rules of the agreement.
Meanwhile, Deputy Trade Minister Carlos Ahenkwa has downplayed concerns raised by some business associations about the high import duties at the ports. He says government has maintained duties since 2016.
President Akufo-Addo has assured that governments will continue to create a stable economic framework and positive outlook for businesses. According to him, the days when economic indicators went haywire and through the roof are over.
And countries in Asia have moved to reassure businesses as the defeat of Theresa May's Brexit deal creates fresh uncertainty for the economies and trade. Japan, a vocal critic of a no-deal Brexit, said it would seek clarity on the outlook and support firm.
And those are the latest stories.
We'll have more at 3:06.
Super Morning Show.
Welcome back to Corruption Watch. My name is Daniel Daz. We are here with Dr. Steve Mantiao. He is with the Integrated Social Development Center, ISODEC, and he's also chair for the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas. He's our guest for the morning. We are talking about how we lose money as a nation through the extractive industry, your gold, your oil, and we've already gathered that some billions of dollars are being lost in gold exports that are not reported. Raymond Akwa has the data. Ray.
Now, the Bank of Ghana's Summary of Economic and Financial Data for January 2017 to January 2018 provides official data on Ghana's total gold exports for the period 2015, 2016, and 2017. over that 3-year period, the data shows that Ghana exported gold worth $13.9 billion US dollars, or in cities 67.8 billion. Of course, I mean, this is BOG's reference dollar rate of 4.8% being used in this calculation. Meanwhile, data from just 3 destinations of the many countries that import gold from Ghana shows that over the same period of 2015 to 2017, gold that left the shores of this country to those 3 destinations amounted to at least 20.1 billion US dollars and 98.3 billion Ghana cedis. The difference between the total recorded by the Bank of Ghana and that for the 3 countries is a whopping 6.2 billion US dollars, and also all in cedis is 30.4 billion. Now, these countries are Switzerland, India, and the United Arab Emirates. And apart from BOG data, Corruption Watch sourced its data from the analysis from UN Comtrade, that's the Swiss government's Federal Department for Foreign Affairs, which present detailed analysis of the India imports and from Ghana, as well as news portals quoting official sources divulging trade information. Now, the outcome of the analysis and the huge variance between the BOG's officially reported figure and those reported on behalf of these countries confirm long-held suspicions that Ghana does not have a firm grip on the gold exports. Often, smuggling of gold from illegal and small-scale mining activities has been blamed for the huge variance in officially reported figures between Ghana and receiving countries. Curious for many is the fact that in 2017, when a ban on illegal mining and small-scale mining was in place, at least 4.9 billion US dollars worth of gold was exported to Switzerland, UAE, and India, which is unreported to the Bank of Ghana. In that year, according to Corruption Watch analysis, the BOG reported total gold exports worth $5.7 billion, while the volume of gold imports from Ghana by Switzerland, UAE, and also India was worth $10.7 billion. Now, in January 2018, President Akufo-Addo reportedly revealed that some $5 billion worth of was unaccounted for in gold exports from Ghana to the UAE alone. Now, according to a report on CTFM Online, the president said that Senior Minister Yao Safmafo was told while on an official visit to Dubai in the UAE that the UAE had recorded $7 billion worth of gold imports from Ghana in the preceding year. In other instances, in let's say late 2017, the BOG and the PMMC, the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, were in the news for being unable to trace most of the companies involved in the 2016 export of some $2.3 billion worth of gold that did not result in the repatriation of foreign currency. While it had been difficult tracing the actual culprits, it is common knowledge that many extractive sector companies have faced accusations of tax evasion and illicit capital transfer from the operational jurisdictions to their countries of origin. Africa and other developing world usually suffers the biggest of the losses in this case. Now, custom officers stationed on mines to observe the gold smelting process and to record the production volumes have in many cases stayed at particular mines for more than a decade. The situation runs the risk of compromising the integrity and therefore the effectiveness of the monitoring arrangement. Now, the CSPOG highlighted in its reports the topology and nature of corruption risk in Ghana's extractive sectors.
Thanks, Raymond, for presenting that data. Put together, of course, by the Corruption Watch team, key among which is Frederick Esiama. Good morning, Frederick. Now, this certainly sets the context for our discussion. We can now turn our attention to the From the Source segment. Now, as I indicated earlier, we have with us Dr. Steve Mantia. He is a policy analyst with the Integrated Social Development Center, ISODEC. He's also chair of the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas, CSPOG. He's here to help us understand the issues in the CSPOG report on typology and natures of corruption risks in Ghana's extractive sector. Of course, our special focus is tracing Ghana's lost gold revenue. Good morning again. Good morning again, Doc.
Good morning.
First of all, why is it important to carry out the study?
Well, good morning to your listeners once again. It's all about development financing. We all recall that at the turn of the millennium, under the auspices of the United Nations, the global community got together to set development targets for the developing world. We call them the Millennium Development Goals. And as part of the process for financing the Millennium Development Goals, the 22 leading developed countries of the world were to commit up to about 0.7% of their gross national product to support developing countries in meeting the Millennium Development Goals. By the time the MDGs expired, that was 2015, many countries had still not been able to meet their development targets, primarily because of lack of finance for these programs that will lead us to achieve these targets. So in developing the successor framework, the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals, you will see a marked shift from dependence on the developed world in financing the SDGs to the countries themselves, the developing countries themselves, that we have to finance these development targets, the SDGs, through our own domestic resource mobilization.
As in line with the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda.
Those are all part of the government strategy to be able to mobilize domestic resources to finance our own development rather than depend on the developed world. So as part of the process, we recognize that it will be necessary to, one, conserve and ensure efficient use of resources. But also, we need to identify all the revenue leaks in the system and make recommendations for policy redress in ways that help us to avert these unnecessary leakages. And so we got support from the Star Ghana to do a study of the potential risk of corruption, abuses, leakages, particularly in the extractive sector, because that is where we operate and that's where we have the expertise to be able to do this kind of study. The study was actually based on the reports churned out over the years by the Ghana Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, what we call for short GAITI, and the Public Interest and Accountability Committee. You find that by and large, these two initiatives have churned out a lot of reports. There have been episodic reports of corruption, abuses, misapplication of public resources and all that. But we haven't really put together a report that harnesses and brings all these episodic reports together in a way that gives a holistic view of the risk that we face in terms of abuses in the extractive sector. And so this actual report, the typology and nature of corruption risk in the extractive sector, is that attempt to bring together and give Ghanaians and policymakers a holistic view of the risks we face. So we take steps to plug these gaps in our laws, in policies, in our institutional relations and all that, so that at least we are able to forestall the occurrence of leakages.
Successful attempt, I must say, but very worrying picture in terms of holistic view has been produced. But give us some of these key findings that you got to in this report.
Well, we looked at the risks associated with various activities in the extractive sector across the value chain, starting with the decision to extract through the contracting process to revenue collection, revenue management and utilization, and eventual outcome of these uses of the revenues. At the level of contracting, we saw huge risks, most of which are associated with widespread discretionary power given usually to the ministers. Particularly in the mining sector, there's also the added risk of opacity, which provides cover, in our view, for rent seeking. And so you see that most of the contracts negotiated are done behind the scenes, between government representatives and the investors.
They are not transparent.
They are not transparent, and even the eventual outcome, the contracts themselves are not made public for citizens' scrutiny. You also recall that recently some MPs are in court challenging the fact that a lot of these contracts that have been signed have not been brought to Parliament for ratification. Therefore, those companies extracting our gold are acting illegally. Indeed, the MPs have a case. I don't intend to prejudice this, but they are all part of the risk associated with contracting in our country. First and foremost, you would expect that we would have had an open process in terms of contracting, so that citizens eventually will have access also to the final product, which is a contract, for us to do an independent review of whether or not those who negotiated these contracts on our behalf did a good job.
So without prejudicing the merits of these two MPs' case, you believe that in a matter of principle, the people should know what is going on. These MPs being key representatives of the people should have seen them.
Certainly. And Parliament have powers to raise objections to some of the fiscal provisions in the contracts. Let me give you an example. You have a situation where royalty, again, in most of the contracts were fixed at between a range of 3 to 6%.
Yeah.
Over the years, and the Ghana EITI reports bear witness to that, most of the companies have stuck to the very minimum of the range, which is 3%. Even when gold prices were at a record high, around $1,800 per ounce, they still stuck to the 3% minimum of the range, suggesting that they were not making profit. Really. And so as a way of addressing that anomaly, the Ghana EITI proposed a policy change, and that brought the royalty varied the royalty range to a fixed rate of 5%. Now, without much consultations, this has been reversed, and then the minister has been given the discretionary power to fix the royalty. Now, when you do that, you expose the minister to corruption, because companies who are negotiating, a lot of times these things, as I noted already, are done behind the scenes. So it's possible for a company to influence the minister in exercising that discretion in order to actually be granted a lower royalty rate. And so for me, one of the major risks we find with contracting has to do beyond the opacity in the process, especially with regards to mining, because we know in the oil sector, we are trying to make amends by proceeding on an open bidding process and all that, which is good. But we are not doing same for mining, and we are not intending anytime soon to do same for mining. So the risk remains. And to the extent that the minister has discretion to fix royalty rate, for instance, and normally these things are done without public explanation as to the basis for the exercise of that discretion in one way or the other. Even though I know there's a constitutional provision that requires that. This is not done. And so, therefore, it's possible for the minister to shortchange this country for his own personal benefit.
Okay, so you've taken us through what the broad issues are. Number one, too much discretionary power has been given to the minister, as you eloquently put just a minute or two ago. And then you talked about how we don't know enough. So the system is too opaque, or it's not transparent enough, to use the expression like that. But let's zoom in a bit more on the mining sector, as you suggest, and on gold specifically. How have these two things cost us?
First and foremost, let me make the general point that this country has found the need to strictly regulate the cocoa sector because we think it's a cash crop that can earn us enough money to help finance our national development.
Okay.
For this reason, even though we have licensed agents that buy cocoa, and also we have the produce buying company, which is a state entity that also buys cocoa, we have an entity that regulates how we market our cocoa abroad, and it's through the Cocoa Board.
Yeah.
So individuals who purchase cocoa do not export the cocoa by themselves. So we are able to properly account for our cocoa. If we recognize that gold is a valuable asset, why have we left the trading and the marketing of gold largely unregulated? We grant licenses to individuals, corporate entities, to buy gold and to export. aside the official government exports, with large companies, it's easy because currently we have an assay lab at the airport, and all shipments by the multinational companies, the big companies, the large-scale mining companies, will have to go through that assay process. So we are able to properly account for that.
So the problem is not from them. Are we sure?
The problem is not from
the large-scale multinationals.
No. The problem, there are issues with the large-scale companies as well. For instance, as against how we monitor the production and smelting of the gold. I mean, your introductory statement made reference to that, the fact that some customs officers who are stationed at the mines to monitor the production and the smelting process
have been there for years.
So
usually they are part of the company.
Yeah, that's right. And in most instances, they are housed by the companies. Some are even given allowances by the companies, and so the integrity of their function is compromised in that process. And so it's a risk, and that can also account for maybe understatement of some of the shipments. But that aside, the bulk of the problem we face has to do with the small-scale mining sector, including the illegal mining.
Doc, I want you to hold on just a moment for me because I know that you have some more details for us on this specific issue. We'll take these important messages. When we come back, Doc will tell us exactly what is happening within the small-scale and illegal mining sector that is costing us so much money. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So everyone says I'm a Kosia filler, but it's not like I'm nosy or go out to find out the latest filler. It's just that I get 50 megabytes of data free after paying for only the first minute of every call. And so I just keep discovering stuff minute after minute. That's how come I was minding my business, scrolling through my timeline, and I found out Coco has a new baby. Oh, and last week, I learned Ken won the lottery. You see, Ken is my brother's friend. So hello, look who's about to roll with the rich and famous.
Enjoy even more value with MTN Free After One. You only pay for the first minute of your call on MTN Free After One, and the rest is free. Plus, you enjoy free 50 megabytes worth of data to browse your favorite sites. So dial *315# to sign up. We day for you everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply.
Ma, I'm going to the bank to deposit some money. I'll be back soon, okay?
Kofi, with all that has been going on, are you still going to deposit money at the bank?
Oh, ma, don't worry at all. I keep all my money at the bank and it's safe. The Bank of Ghana has taken some bold measures to strengthen our banks and protect our money. This will ensure that the banks have more capital to do their business and are better governed so that they can protect the money we entrust to them. Banks will also be able to provide better services to their customers and support more businesses and the economy as a whole.
Wow, Kofi, that is very good. We should continue to keep our money in the banks and not take them to unlicensed institutions which promise us the moon and yet run away with our money. Kofi, go and deposit your money at the bank and come back quickly for your lunch. Their punchy cracker is almost ready.
Bank of Ghana, promoting a safer and resilient banking system.
Hey, bro, Kofi, your ceiling be smooth, bright and fine, papa.
That's an understatement. It dey blink like 80 carats white gold. This be Interface plasterboard ceilings. Smooth, bright, and long-lasting. Everybody where they come here, they fill up. Where they direct them go Interface Limited for world-class quality.
If you're involved in new property development, renovation, or decoration, the right place for you is Interface Limited. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
And you know, my claim is not covered by the insurance policy I arranged.
Parkwesi, I've always advised you to let J&G Insurance Brokers, the insurance professional, handle your insurance to avoid gaps. At J&G, we analyze your insurance needs, we arrange cover with the best insurer with a track record of prompt claims payment, and above all, we facilitate and negotiate your claims. Call Dr. Gideon Amenyedo, the CEO, on 0244-333335 or 0504-333335. You can also email him, Gideon, at jnginsurancebrokers.com or visit our website, jnginsurancebrokers.com.
Thank you very much, Egenam. I'm calling Doctor right away.
At J&J Insurance Brokers, Negotiating a great insurance deal is our business.
Hey Ghana, are you ready for the hottest fashion looks from MRP? Mr. Price, also known as MRP, is bringing you ladies, men's and kids wear at unbelievable prices. It's the perfect time to stock up on denim, dresses, chinos and other fashion essentials. So head on over to MRP at Accra Mall, West Hills Mall, Junction Mall and Achimota Mall to get your shop on. Don't miss out. Your wardrobe will thank you.
Darling, wake up. What time did you say your meeting was again?
It's by 8 a.m.
You're kidding, right? It's almost 7:30.
What? I'm going to be late. This may cost me the deal. Before I have my bath, before the truck get filled up, before
Quickly freshen up. I will help you request a ride on Uber.
Uber in this area?
Exactly, in our area.
Baby, I'm ready.
So is your Uber ride.
Request a ride with Uber in Accra at any time and get to your destination with convenience. Uber, where to?
It's the year of the car owner with Enterprise Insurance. Just dial *714*556#. Choose update your details, follow the prompts, and voila! You are in for surprises that will make your head swell big. Surprises like mobile data, useful car insurance tips, and many more. Remember, updating your details even helps to speed up the claims process. Car owner, this is your year. Insure with Enterprise. Dial *714*556# and update your details now.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Super Morning Show.
Our money, when I'm money, our money, when I'm money, our money, when I'm money, our money, when I'm money.
Yeah, Sydney, je suis arrivé. Qu'est-ce que la nation soit sur les Ghana? Arrêtez le babadage. C'est moi, Ritu. Sydney back again. Yeah. Now no hit it back. What you say now? Squad alongside Man and Morris, Babyface. What you say now?
24 minutes past 9. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Welcome back to Corruption Watch. My name is Daniel Dazi. I'm here in the studio with a policy analyst with the Integrated Social Development Center and the chair of the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas, CSPOG, Dr. Stephen Mantiao. We are talking about how we are losing money from the export of precious minerals like gold. Let me just give you a typical example. Which street in Ghana can you tell me looks like 100 years of gold? How many? You tell me. Why are we not getting the due that we need from this key export? There's a new report by the CSPOG, that is Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas. It's called Typology and Nature of Corruption Risks in Ghana's Extractive Sector. Dr. Mantia has already taken us through the broad areas. He's talking about how already there's too much discretionary power given to the minister. A minister, in this case, being the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
That's right.
Yes. And also, the process itself is not transparent enough. So it's not like the oil blocks where there's a public tendering and there's a public bidding process. That doesn't happen when things are being negotiated for in other mining areas. We want to look a bit closely at gold. And you told us just before we went on break that at the majority, if we can use that expression, of the problem will be from small-scale miners and illegal miners.
Yeah.
What are they doing? What is it costing us?
Well, the issue has to do with our own policy and regulations. For a very long time, PMMC was responsible for the purchasing of gold from the small-scale sector.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were not doing this very well, the Minerals Commission moved in and licensed a number of private entities to also buy gold.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you find that there is no, and let me make the point here that it is rational to suggest that you cannot trade in illegally acquired goods in this country. And you agree with me?
It is rational to suggest that you cannot trade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Illegally
On
acquired
paper.
goods.
On
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah, even before the law, it's illegal. You cannot illegally acquire something and sell.
Yeah.
That is criminal.
That's true.
But it is possible to illegally acquire gold in this country and sell.
That's true.
And even sell to a government entity like the PMMC. And in those years, PMMC will tell you that the law does not require them to establish the legality of the gold being offered for sale. Just buy it. And the essence really was to avert a situation where you begin to investigate to establish whether that gold was legally won or not. And then you get people smuggling the gold outside the country through our porous borders. So just buy whatever gold that is produced. Once you do that, you are offering a market for illegal mining. Because if the illegally mined gold does not have a market, that in itself will create a disincentive to produce illegal gold. But the law recognizes gold as gold, no matter how it is produced. And so there is market, and that is why a lot of the illegalities have gone on. Again, we don't have a system where we ensure, let's say for instance, if you have a PMMC, and I believe that the PMMC could have played the role that Cocoa Board plays in this country. That whoever produces gold do not have a license to export gold. But because we have allowed individuals to export gold, we are not able to police the gold export properly. And what we are able to capture in our official data is the large-scale mining companies because they are going through official channels.
Which is why small-scale mining was banned for a long time. And we had companies like Touchwood Men's Gold, which was trading on gold and acquiring gold from small-scale miners through God knows which means.
Yes, even look, in those years, even a state mining company, which was Sankofa Goldfields in Prestia, which is owned by GMPC, was buying gold supposedly from illegal miners.
The state mining company.
Yeah, that's right. They were buying gold from illegal miners, galamseyers. And so as soon as we imposed the ban on illegal mining, Sankofa actually went underwater. Today, they are not operational because they cannot get the illegal gold they were buying to export.
But isn't that a stretch to say that just because they are not operational now, it must mean that they were getting their gold from illegal sources?
You see, I also happen to chair the multi-stakeholder group of the Ghana Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. And Sankofa Goldfields has actually come under our radar. There are lots of issues that perhaps they are not the subject of our discussion today.
Okay. But
I'm telling you that they buy tailings and gold and other things from the small-scale sector. They are not into exploration and production of gold by themselves.
Yeah.
And so they are one of their challenge after the ban of small-scale as how to procure tailings for washing and obtaining their gold, and also how to buy their gold from the small-scale companies for sale.
Okay.
And so it's been a major challenge, and it's known. And GMPC,
in the sector.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a known fact in the sector. So the point I'm making is this: if you provide market for illegal activities, the product of illegal activities, then definitely, and in the face of weak regulation, you are going to have these huge variances that are being reported between the official gold export data and what other countries are reporting as receiving from Ghana. One country's own imports of gold from Ghana alone is more than so many times what we officially capture as our gold exports.
Now, the president said that 5 billion more gold is being put in Dubai, UAE, when we are only officially exporting about 2.5 billion.
Yeah, but you know what is worrying?
Tell me.
Beyond that official pronouncements, the acknowledgement that we are supposedly exporting more than we are capturing officially in our official data, what have we done about it? Nothing. But it is possible to do something. It is possible to try and set your investigative machinery in process to be able to understand the modus operandi of those who are involved in illegal shipment of goods out of this country. You could even, as a starting point, collaborate with the customs. We are part of the World Customs Union. Collaborate with the customs authorities in these countries that are receiving our gold. To the extent that they are recording these as shipment from Ghana, for me, presumes that they have the names of those who did their export. Otherwise, you can establish that this is from Ghana.
Definitely.
So, getting the data, the forms, whatever it is, the records, and then trying to find out from that records who are the ones in Ghana who did the export will help you to trace backwards to whoever is shipping the gold out of Ghana.
So, government is not doing enough?
Not that I'm aware of. And I've engaged people in very high places, and I can say for sure that we are doing nothing in terms of trying to understand the situation so that we can able to put measures to forestall their reoccurrence.
But take us back to the report. What are these specific findings that we have in the gold sector?
A lot. I started with the contracting process.
Yes.
And let me even make the point that, the Newmont contract has been renegotiated.
Yes.
One thing that was really bad with the old contract that was negotiated in terms of shortchanging the host community, the host district, was the fact that in negotiating that Newmont development agreement, we exempted Newmont from the payment of property rate without the knowledge of the district assembly, which was a recipient of a property rate, and without any compensation for this loss of revenue. And this was all because the negotiation was not done openly.
Okay.
And this has been corrected in the new agreement. So there's something really to begin in opening up the process and ensuring that what is negotiated in the name of the people is fair and returns good reward to the country. Now, there's also the fact that when you get a company coming into your country, whatever they invest, our laws allows that. They are allowed to recover their capital cost.
Okay.
But our mechanism for monitoring the investments that companies make and the recovery of their capital cost is weak. Okay. And the companies take advantage of that.
In the first place, how do they recover the capital cost?
It used to be the case that we allow them to recover straight. We call 80% of their cost in the first year. All losses are carried forward into the next year and recouped. So you get into a situation where when companies were about to exhaust their capital allowances, they reinvest and go through another cycle of recouping those investments in capital allowances.
Oh, okay.
What then happens is that their mines appreciate in value as you do these new investments. And at a point when you decide to sell the mine, you sell it at a profit.
Oh, okay.
The effect of those cycles of investments, especially when the gold prices are good, is that because of the investments, they will be declaring very low profits, sometimes no profit at all. So they don't pay corporate tax to the state. Now, when these investments lead to appreciation in value of the mine, and somewhere along the line, they trade their asset, they make profit. And the law requires that they pay capital gain tax on the profit. Now we've changed the law to treat capital gains as income and tax it at the going income tax rate. But what was happening was that because the change of ownership will usually be effected with the regulatory body, which is the Minerals Commission, and because the information with the Minerals Commission was not being shared routinely with the revenue authorities, the revenue authorities do not get to know that this capital gain tax opportunity has been created. So they don't follow through, and many times the companies have actually bolted with the non-payment of capital gain tax. And so the state has lost revenue in that process. Now, what we have done as a corrective measure is to require the Minerals Commission to routinely exchange information in terms of change of ownership and shareholding structure with the revenue authority, the GRA. But this is not, and that's the problem with the current solution, it's not automated. So if the officer who is supposed to pass on this information to GRA fails to do that, GRA may not know and therefore may not follow through to collect the accrued capital gain tax. Ideally, that system should not be based on the discretion of the officer. It should be automated. So you want maybe a web-based type of platform where the change in ownership will automatically reflect on the GRA system, and therefore they can follow through immediately to collect the accrued capital gain tax. So this is some of the ways, because the decision really to pass on your file or to hide your file is dependent on the officer who effected the change of ownership.
And it creates the avenue
for corruption. Because that officer himself who has to pass on that information to GRA can be compromised by the company involved.
There's so much of a human interface in our system.
Exactly, and that is some of the challenges that we are finding with the whole arrangement.
We have legalized small-scale mining now.
Yeah.
So small-scale miners are...
small-scale mining has always been legalized.
I mean, so we have lifted the ban. That's the expression I wanted
that's
to
right.
use.
Okay.
So it's always been legal. Thank you.
Yeah.
But we've lifted the ban on small-scale mining now. Now that these miners are going back there, how can we effectively monitor the amount of gold that is produced in there so that we can tax them properly and get the revenue that we need?
You know, it's a challenge. The Ghana EITI a few years ago attempted to explore ways of bringing these small-scale miners into the EITI framework so we'll be able to better account for their production, but also to be able to tax them so that their production also makes contribution to national development financing. But we realize that there are tens of thousands of them. And so monitoring production at the individual entity level is almost an impossibility. The only way you can do that is to prevent the individuals or the corporate entities that have been licensed to buy and sell to export the gold out of this country. We should do for gold what we have done for cocoa by having one singular entity responsible for the shipment of gold out of the country, international marketing of our gold. That way we'll be able to better account for our gold. But to the extent that everybody, hundreds, sometimes running to 1,000 or so of people, licensed buyers, can individually export the gold, it will be difficult. With the Chinese, for instance, I would not discount the fact that some of the gold may be exiting this country through diplomatic bags.
Doc, hold on a moment. Hold on for me a moment, because Deputy Land and Natural Resources Minister Barbara Oting-Gyesi has joined us on the line. She has a clarification to make on a point that you have made. Good morning, Ms. Oting-Gyesi. Please turn off the radio by you. We are getting some feedback on this end.
Okay.
Yes, Barbara Oting-Gyesi is Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, also Member of Parliament for Pristia-Huni Valley. She's joined us on the line to make a clarification. You can go ahead with your clarification, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much. The gentleman in your studio made references to Prisia Sankofa Gold Limited, which is in Prisia in my constituency, and said that the company has collapsed because of the ban on small-scale mining. This is not correct. The collapse of the company predated the ban on small-scale mining. What the company does is that it was set up to process tailings from small-scale mining because they realized that the processes of small-scale miners was not that efficient. And therefore, the tailings, after they have processed to extract some gold, could still be processed efficiently and more gold extracted from it. So that was the business of Prisia Sankofa Gold. But mismanagement of the company led to its collapse, which predated the ban on small-scale mining. So it's not the ban on small-scale mining which led to the collapse. Rather now, the new government in place is supporting GNPC to ensure that Prisia Sankofa Gold is operationalized again. A new interim management team is in place and is working hard to operationalize Sankofa Gold again. So it's not ban on small-scale mining, which led to the collapse of Prisia Sankofa Gold.
When specifically did Prisia Sankofa Gold collapse?
I'll say that it is operating I cannot give the specific year, but over 3 years now, it has not been operating. And it's GMPC which rather has tried to pay some of the outstanding salaries of the workers over the time that the company had not been operating, working towards operationalizing it again. So it has nothing to do with the ban on small-scale mining.
Okay, so you do not know. Okay, so Dr. Mansia wants to make a point, and then we go ahead. Doc, please go ahead.
Madam, Prisia Sankofa actually, Prisia Goldfields, is whatever it's called.
Prisia Sankofa Gold
Limited actually ceased operation about 2 years ago, and that coincides with the ban on small-scale mining. You are right. They were set up, that's their business model, to process tailings and all that. Most of the tailings, I can tell you, was coming from the small-scale mining sector. I mean, large-scale mining companies were not supplying tailings to Prisia Sankofa because they have efficient mechanisms in place to be able to extract as much gold as needed to be extracted.
Right. So, Barbara saying JC there. So we are looking through to look at the specific date for when, if we can have a time for when Prisia.
Yes, I think that can easily be verified. But the point I want to make is that the ban on small-scale mining did not lead to the collapse of Prisia Sankofa Gold.
The point you want to make is that it was collapsed before
the ban was put in place.
Right. Exactly. Thanks for joining us. Barbara Ting JC is a Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Like you heard her say herself, she's also Member of Parliament for Pristia Huni Valley, where that company is located. Now, here are the benefits you get when you ride with Uber. Quick time of arrival between 2 and 5 minutes, so reliable. Upfront fares, which eliminates the need to haggle. And you can pay by either card or cash. Affordability is assured. Now, if you're around Kolebu, Mamprobi, Bukom, Late, Biokoshi, Kanishi, Accra Central, and its environs, visit our newly opened location as Bukom Boxing Arena. I'm talking about ADB. ADB's new location is at Bukom Boxing Arena. Visit us for your banking needs and more. There's a special surprise for any customer who performs a transaction this week, starting from last Monday, January 14, to Friday, January 18. Simply open an account, invest in your account, subscribe to any e-banking products like Visa Card, MTN Mobile Money, Airtel Tigo Money, bill payments, mobile banking, SMS alert, among others, and receive an instant surprise. For further inquiries, please contact us on Facebook or www.agricbank.com or call our hotline 0302 210 210 ADB, Shuli, Agric, and more. Still live on the Super Morning Show. It's 15 minutes to the top of the hour. We'll take our last batch of messages. When we come back, we wrap up with Dr. Steve Manteau. He is the chair of the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas. He is also a policy analyst at Integrated Social Development Center. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Big Bond Roofing Systems have become the talk of the building industry. People from all over the world are talking about us.
I'm in Ghana for the past 20 years as a contractor, and I can say that Big Bond Roofing System is the game changer in the market. High quality, durable, strong, beautiful, and no leakage.
Wagwan, my brethren, what we like about Big Bond is them lovely colors and patterns. They will meet your budget with flexible payment terms. You don't know? Architect Uche, tell them.
Una don't hear? Big Bond they here again, no? Make una take advantage of their special 10% Xmas discount from November to complete your home. Locate Big Bond Roofing System in Accra at North Industrial Area adjacent Old Melcom. As a day here, I carry some go Port Harcourt for my project too.
For free estimates, speedy production, transportation and installation, call us on 0302 268 261 or 0501 290 390 and in Tamale, Sangani on 0372 022 405. Big Bond Roofing Systems. Durable, beautiful, and affordable.
Bibiara wa Malcolm Luciano le Malcolm Nofiano ye Malcolm. What are you looking for? Malcolm got it all. Great discount, dodo. Yamafia so. Best bargains on our days. Everything here is a bargain. High quality, puts me a priority. So tell your mom, tell Poppy, tell you, actually everybody.
FPAC is effective for headaches and relieves the symptoms of flu, colds, and catarrh. FPAC blows away the pain associated with sore throats. During and after a hard day's work, FPAC relieves you of body pains. After the day's sports workout, FPAC helps the body to control the aching muscles. FPAC is effective against feverishness. FPAC reduces body temperature associated with malaria and other fevers. FPAC is effective against rheumatic pains. You can find FPAC in all pharmacy and chemical select shops throughout the country. FPAC is not recommended for children less than 16 years of age, ulcer and asthmatic patients, pregnant and lactating mothers. If symptoms persist for more than 2 days, consult your doctor. FPAC blows your pain away.
FPAC Junior follows in the tradition of FPAC tablets, a trusted friend to relieve your child of pain associated with teething, catarrh, cold, and fever. The good that FPAC does for you, FPAC Junior does for your child. FPAC Junior is for children between 6 months and 12 years. FPAC Junior blows your child's pain away.
Kofi, yankwada adiasa.
Mamina hakakra, enchemeba.
Entuntum wa hapao. Minji ndi so pesa o yare biu.
Sweetie, me ya yare o. Mi ti Udia mesrew. Unko drugstore ho unko pedro bi mreme.
Ade na wo mayenko hospital. Eho de ye be hu ade pot na eyo. Na doctor ahweso ama wano adru.
Eye pa se Kofi ko hospital ma doctor hwe hunu de na ha no pot ma no adru pepepe. Nipa bebre ne firi omu pemu koto adru wo pharmacy shop wo bra won hwehwe hunu ade ha wo mo. We betimi di sunsu aso bone aba omo apomuden so. Enye fever bia na ye malaria.
Anti nurse ni maye malaria test no. Ane Kofi wo malaria ampa.
Doctor actually say Kofi infa ACT.
Kofi bomodia se wo befa ACT eduro no. Se nia ya kire wo no pepepe.
Odo eye pa se e bae. Medro ni aka ni o. Manom se nia esi kire me pepepe. Na onim bribi.
Eji sa wo ka kire me.
Efi ene ekọ no. Ye fi ha de ye ne malaria to kwanta ya pai kra.
Asem de. Na mama mbi sa wo anadri. Ehifa ena obeda.
Wa wunim. Medo se de mosquito net ayahye na dro no. Eno nko ase ne ebeda. Abrabapa boni ye eye da bia adeyo. Enkan boy if we Ghana Health Service any USAID eho.
My name is Superintendent Dr. Samuel Sesumensa. I'm a programs officer at the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD of the Ghana Police Service. I'm excited to be part of the Guinness Ghana Breweries multimedia road safety program, Trapino Moon. If you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink. To all traffic and law enforcement officers, during this Christmas, the MTTD will spread our visibility across all road corridors. Stop accidents now.
How I wish I knew where to keep my money now.
Oh, what's there to worry about? Go to the Seed Fund Savings and Loans. They are completely reliable.
Really?
Completely dependable. The Seed Fund Savings and Loans is a whole different experience. You are sure the safety of your funds because they constantly pay depositors' funds on demand. No go come, no stories.
Bing!
The Seed Fund Savings and Loans, the safe, reliable, and dependable home for your funds. Ask any Seed Funds depositor. So, stop wishing and call the Seed Fund Savings and Loans on 056 111997 or 056 111998.
The Seed Fund Savings and Loans. Safe, reliable, dependable.
Scratched, used, and now waste, but not for Kofi Achu.
So I was thinking of how to get a medium and then to do the projects. So I saw the cards on my carpet, and then they were very reflective. They were very bright. I tried to, depict a flag, a Ghana flag, out of what I saw on my carpet, and then I saw that there was I think the color scheme was okay. At the same time, too, I'm sure, or I think I'm solving a societal issue or problem.
Catch the story of Ernest Kofi Achu and how he turned to use scratch cards and other waste materials for his portrait art this week on the Joy Business Van. The Joy Business Van on TV, radio, online and on ground. It's powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Super Morning Show. Yeah, Sydney. Je suis arrivé. Qu'est-ce que la nation soit sur les Ghana? Arrêtez le babadage. C'est moi, Ritu. Sydney back again. Yeah. Now no hit it back. What you say now? Squad alongside Man and Morris. Babyface. What you say now? Africa money, I got the chop on fuga. Wanna money, our money, Africa money, I got the chop on fuga. Ile chop on nyanga, I got the chop on yafu. Wow, I got the chop on ya. Ile chop on fuga, I got the chop on nyanga. Boom, I got the chop on wow.
Still live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. This is Corruption Watch. My name is Daniel Dazi. My guest this morning is the chair of the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas. He's also a policy analyst with the ISODEC, that's the Integrated Social Development Center, Dr. Steve Mantiao. We've been talking about where money leaks in Ghana's extractive sector. Gold and more gold, really. We'll be wrapping up in a moment, but Big Bond Roofing Systems Limited is a high-quality, innovative roofing manufacturer and installer of modern roofs on new and old residential as well as commercial buildings throughout Ghana. Big Bond is offering an amazing 10% off all roofing materials. Call Big Bond on 030-226-8261 in Accra or 037-202-2405 in Tamale or 050-129-0390 or visit our offices in Accra, North Industrial Area, and Tamale in Sangani. Remember, we provide long warranties of up to 10 years. Big Bond Roofing System Limited is durable, beautiful, and affordable. Now, each new year comes with its own little surprises, and this is the year of the car owner with Enterprise Insurance. From now till the end of March, all car owners who insure their cars with Enterprise stand a chance of getting free fuel vouchers and other exciting souvenirs. It's truly your year. Just insure with Enterprise, the only insurance company rated A+ by the Global Rating Agency of South Africa, and also pays minor motor claims on the same day within minutes. That's right. Existing customers can also dial *714 *556# to renew with mobile money. Don't look anywhere else. This is your year with Enterprise Insurance from now till the end of March 2019. Promo runs while stocks last. T's and C's apply. Enterprise Insurance, your advantage. Now, today's driving tip that Joy FM brings you in collaboration with Guinness Ghana Brewers Public Company Limited and Total Petroleum Ghana Limited is: do not overtake and pass other vehicles stopped for pedestrians. Do not overtake and pass other vehicles stopped for pedestrians. The road safety tip is brought to you by Guinness Ghana Brewers Limited. Life every day, everywhere. Also supported by VIP Jong Transport Service and Evan Mike Multipurpose Company Limited. We build for the nation. Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic, producers of Ajinkwa Garlic Plus, God our healer. In 5 minutes, we check out of the studios. Let me come back to Dr. Steve Mantiao for his final word.
Well, I think that the cure for corruption is transparency and accountability. And as a country, we recognize this. And that is why in fashioning out the laws and regulations for the petroleum sector, we provided for elaborate disclosure requirements. Mm-hmm. So Ministry of Finance has to make certain disclosures, Bank of Ghana disclosure, GNPC, Petroleum Commission, Ghana Gas, all have disclosure requirements imposed on them.
Yeah.
So citizens will get to know what is happening to their oil. In addition, we created an additional public oversight body in the form of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, which I happen to chair.
Okay.
To also receive reports, do its analysis, and provide information to the citizenry on routine basis. So this become a kind of a check on anybody who is inclined to abuse the petroleum revenues. And we've seen from PIAC reports instances where there have been abuses and all that has been brought to public attention. And some of them have been responded to by government, some of them not yet, but then we are trying to work with the state accountability institutions. In the coming days or so, we'll be signing some memorandum of understanding between PIAC and YOCO to get some of the cases referred to YOCO for further action and all that.
So you can refer your cases to YOCO from PIAC
straight from PIAC. Exactly.
That will make you like the SEC.
Well, whatever it is, we are actually safeguarding the monies which belongs to all of us. And so, yes, and we intend to also enter into similar collaboration arrangements with other public prosecutorial bodies. Exactly, yeah, and all that. So that is what we're doing. So we're doing so much for oil, but we seem to have left mining to its fate. We don't have any framework, no transparency and accountability framework for mining. We do not have any rules in terms of what we spend, what we save, what we spend on, how we spend, and all that. In fact, what is happening to our bauxite, which is the mortgaging of our bauxite for some $2 billion Chinese loan.
You're talking about the Sino-Hydro
thing.
Thank you.
Cannot happen in the oil sector. Because the law prohibits the collateralization of our oil reserves. But because there's no legal framework of the sort for mining, that is why the government can, without proper consultation with the people who are the owners, of the resource, embark on this collateralization of our bauxite.
You think this bauxite collateralization deal was not done with the proper consultation?
I have not seen any proper due diligence in terms of the cost and the benefit to the state. And there has not been any public consultation on that. In fact, the report, I've not even seen the report, let alone to call for a public consultation on the report. So I think that we are acting as a country out of desperation. We urgently need money to fix our infrastructure challenges. So no matter what, we just tend to give things away without considering the costs and the benefits. And that's, for me, what I make of this particular deal. But I'm saying that, and the import of the argument I'm making is that if it is not possible for this to happen to our oil reserves, then for that same good reason, it should not happen to our mining reserves.
Thank you so much, Dr. Steve Mantiao. He is chairman for the Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas, CSPOG. He's campaign coordinator, really, at ISODEC, Integrated Social Development Center. That's what I know you are saying. So that's what always comes to mind.
And I still coordinate the campaigns.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to hand you over straight now to Mama V Owusu Abuachi. She comes with the 10 a.m. news. And Mama V, good morning. That's it for the Super Morning Show. Good morning, Mama V.
Good morning, Daniel. Coming up, police retrieve rocket fire